I guess, Maura, just maybe a couple things maybe you can comment on. Obviously, that crazy awesome weekend, kind of you got a little gap here. And then you guys play Mankato back to back. Just maybe your overall feelings on your team. You're going to have Hughes on here again, talk about maybe what she's done. You have 3 players of the week. You have a player of the month. We basically have everything. So maybe just talk about what you're kind of feeling from your team at this point, and then we'll open it right up.
Yeah, looking back, yes, it was an awesome weekend, really fun. Love seeing our team put the puck in the net, keep the puck out of our net as well. And I thought we took a big step in terms of, showcasing our abilities, separating ourselves from other teams in the league, and, preparing for big games down the road here as we head into February. So looking forward to playing again. Tough to have a bye weekend right now because I like the way we were going, but at the same time, we can get back at it at practice, improve certain areas that I think we need to improve on, and get ready for our series at Mankato back on the road here in a couple weeks, which is fun. We've only had 2 road trips so far this year, and we did pretty well in the last time that we were at Mankato. So want to play similarly to how we did that weekend. Obviously, we're a lot more refined at this point, and I'm sure they are too. And there's a lot on the line with these games coming up. And so I think from a mentality standpoint, just taking it weekend by weekend, it's unusual to play the same team back-to-back weekends, but I think the best approach is, weekend by weekend, game by game, period by period, shift by shift. So looking forward to that. Trying to think what else you gave me on the list. Gabbie's here. It was awesome, as we talked about Saturday night, to see her get her 100th. And like I said, I know there's going to be many more, but I'm sure there's a little relief for her getting that monumental point. And thinking back over the years, just so many special moments, whether it's assists or goals. And she's been a huge part of our success, huge part of our offense, but also, as I noted, a big part of our defense too. And being on the top line in our program is, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. We expect you to be very responsible in the D zone, understand all of our systems, understand all of our face-off plays. And these guys are on special teams as well. So she does it all for us, and looking forward to see her continue to build on that point production. And as also has been noted, and Kelly, you've done a great job highlighting so many of our fantastic Bulldog alums that are also in that club, and to see some of those gaudy numbers from the early 2000s, it's just incredible. And I think it just reminds all of us of what a special program this is and what an elite group Gabbie just joined.
Questions for Maura?
Maura, how has have you seen her style of play change a little bit this year? I think if people if you only measure by the score sheet, you're wondering, wow, where the points that, she's putting up like last year. Granted, we're playing at half the amount of games and such, but have you seen her take on, you mentioned that center role and everything that's involved there. Has she become a better defensive player and such? Have you seen her more grow in that role? Especially with, Kleiner over there putting up points as well. Maybe it doesn't have to be Gabbie, the one scoring all the goals.
Yeah, I think over the years, she's gotten so much better in the D zone, and she and I have talked about that, and she takes a ton of pride in it, which is awesome. And you don't get that a lot from elite goal scorers. So it's fantastic for our team to see a player like Gabbie take the pride that she does in the D zone. And so the physicality in that zone in particular, and really understanding what it means to be like a third defenseman back there, is important. I think she does a great job with that. I think she's focusing a lot on her face-off play as well, trying to win draws, trying to, understand maybe what some of her opponents are doing. So looking at specific aspects of her game a little bit differently this year. I think when you watch Gabbie, a lot of teams, and this has been happening for years, but a lot of teams are marking her, are well aware of when she's on the ice. And I think that is the beauty of the Klein Hughes duo, is if they want to play Gabbie that way, we'll find Kleiner. And then if they want to play Kleiner that way, then she'll find Gabbie. And now Taylor Anderson is playing with those guys. So that's another speedy, gritty player that people have to worry about. So I think, this year is just weird with the number of games we're playing, but also with the inconsistency that we play. It's start and stop and start and stop. So I know I've talked to, I think it was Bruce Siskey, about power play numbers across the country being so low. I think, it's just tough to get into a rhythm. But what's nice, beyond the bye weekend, I think we get to rest our bodies, rest our minds a little bit this bye weekend, and then we go. And it's, 6 big league games heading into playoffs and a lot of exciting hockey ahead.
Maura, I'm sure you've heard UMD is going to be renamed to the University of Goaltending. We always hear about the men and the work that Brant Nicklin does with the goaltenders. What are the work that you guys do? Because it's becoming evident, as we saw with Maddie Rooney and now with Emma Soderberg. She's playing so well. What's the secret with you guys?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. We have our goalie coach, Chris Esposito, who's been with us, I want to say, for 5 years. And he's not from Duluth, so you might not know him quite as well, but he's been a huge part of our program. He and Maddie had a tremendous connection over the years. They knew each other before Maddie started here, so they had a great relationship. And he was a huge part of her development and the way she played in that those Olympics that year. So he was big there, and now it's being the starter. She's getting all of his attention now, which is great. And he brings a ton of energy, a ton of expertise. He learned from Rob Stauber. That's his goalie mentor, and he works at Goal Crease, and he is really, really good at what he does. I think the second part that's really important and is important being a head coach is having a former goaltender on staff. So Laura Bellamy played goalie locally, as you guys all know, played at Harvard at a very high level, had a tremendous career. So every day when we're putting drills together, we're at practice, she is making sure that I'm thinking about the goalies. And certain drills don't include goalies, and sometimes I'm like, oh geez, what we gotta fix that. So she's paying attention to them on a daily basis, and I think that's frankly rare. A lot of programs have volunteer goalie coaches that come in and out, and we have that on top of a mainstay on our staff.
Just heading this week.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Here, what do you hope? How do you hope to maintain that momentum into the break and then into Mankato?
Yeah, I think, it's figuring out necessary breaks. So we took Monday off from practice, worked into some skill work yesterday, got back at it today, and just looking ahead at the schedule, making sure that we're turning it on when we need to, and bringing the group together for different things, meetings away from the rink as well. And then, once Monday hits next week, that's a normal work week, and we'll be fired up and ready to go. Our players know how important this series is. We remember how fun it was, and we'll be ready for them. So looking forward to it.
Maura, your thoughts on the WCHA's postseason plan to just take 4 teams to the final face-off and skip those best of 3 series, and your thoughts on not taking the entire league in a season like this with the different schedules and such, not taking the entire league to the postseason?
So the final face-off is the same as it always is with the final 4 teams. And the decision not to have quarterfinal rounds actually happened last spring. So COVID related, financial related decision to bypass those quarterfinals and head straight to the final face-off. So from my standpoint, I think it's pretty much the same as normal, except you got to make sure you're one of those top 4 teams. And that things are different this year in the COVID era. I think we're used to that. And, we want to be sure we're one of those top 4 teams. So I think from our standpoint, that's our focus.
There wasn't any talk with the league about trying to bring all 7 teams to the final face-off this year?
Yeah, there was talk, but the decision, like I said, had been made to not have quarterfinals last spring. So in order to go to 7, that would have been a change from what we had planned for. And so they wound up at 4. And I think, that's our focus, like I said, is to be one of those 4.
You got any math majors on the team that can tell us whether you or anyone else has clinched a spot yet in the playoffs? Since we're doing point percentage now, any idea on that?
Hey, we're doing well right now. We just need to keep winning hockey games. That's all, our focus all year has been, we got to win. It's less about who you're playing, going on a conference, things like that. It's who's next, who's up, and let's go. Take care of business, what's right in front of you. I am no math major, so I don't try to get into that sort of business with predictions and things like that.
Maura, do you have to take that same mentality with the NCAA tournament, as there really is, unless you've heard something different, there seems to be no clear-cut criteria. We don't have the pairwise to go off of. I haven't heard any announcements or anything. It's the same on the men's side. It might be an eye test. Just with all the uncertainty on how that's going to be selected as well, do you just got to keep with that just win mentality?
Absolutely. Win the games that are on your schedule, right? That's what everybody's trying to do, because you can't do out of conference games this year. Nobody really was able to. So you can't manipulate your schedule in any way that you think might help you get into the tournament. You get your schedule, you have to win the games that are on that schedule to put yourself in the best spot. So that's my message. I do believe there will be some subjectivity to it this year without the math to back things up. So I think that's not a bad thing. And I think it's a battle right now. You look at the teams in women's hockey that are battling for those 8. It's great competition. So like I said, the next few weeks for us are huge, and I like our chances. We just have to stay focused on what's right in front of us, and that's Mankato.
Have you heard anything on location? If they're going to do all 8 teams in one spot, or anything on the format or anything like that for the NCAA tournament?
Yep, I think it's one site. So quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals will be in one site, and the host this year is Mercyhurst, so it'll be Erie, Pennsylvania.
All right, we can open it up and let Gabbie and Anna get on here with some questions. If you guys have some questions for Gabbie or Anna, if you guys, we'll let you ask questions first, and then if we want to pull some more responses out, we will. Gabbie or Anna here.
I can start with Gabbie. You need time to pin that, Kelly?
They're not pinning when I send you guys recordings, which I only just found out Saturday. So when she starts talking, she'll come on, is what I found out. All that effort for nothing.
Gabbie, how have you seen, do you feel like you're a different player this year? And as you keep going on this journey of college hockey, do you find yourself having to adapt to different ways? Like Coach said, people keying on you a lot more. Do you see yourself maybe paying attention to those other things besides just scoring in that centerman's role?
Yeah, of course. I feel like each year I've changed and gotten better at different things and focused on different things throughout my game. But one thing that Coach mentioned was just taking pride in the D zone, and that's something that I never really focused on too much in high school, and that was one of the main things we talked about since my freshman year coming in here, is if I'm going to be a big role in a center on this team, that I need to have that be a big focus of mine. And I think it has been the last 2 years, but really dialing in on that and taking responsibility of that this year has been a big focus of mine. And a lot of the outside of the rank meetings that we've had as a team, they talk about just always having two focuses when things are either going too good or if they're going super bad, always having two things to go back on that that you're good at. And this year, those two things are the D zone and winning my faceoffs. And I wouldn't say I'm a different player. I just think that I've been working on different areas of my game, and it's just been a different season for a lot of people, and focusing on a little bit different things to help my game expand a little bit more.
Do you feel less pressure to score than previous years? It seems like this year you guys, whether it's your line mate Kleiner there or just other lines. I mean, this past weekend, I think UMD got a goal from all four lines. You got blue liners getting. Do you feel a lot less pressure to score this year compared to last year's? It feels like you have a lot more offensive weapons beyond just like Naomi Rogie coming back.
Yeah, of course. I feel like there's always a pressure that you just put on yourself to score goals because you want to. I love scoring goals, so obviously I put that pressure on myself a little bit. But ending the year last year, we had like Mackenzie Hewitt and Kylie Hanley, and those girls just really stepping up and having really big end of the years, and they carried it over into Mankato. We started off like so good. We had so many lines scoring, and I think having that in our first series was so much fun for everyone, but to see everyone else scoring and getting those opportunities and having depth on our team is, I wouldn't say it's like a weight off the shoulders, but it's just exciting, and it's something like just makes you happy to be a part of. So yeah, I would say a little less pressure and not as much pressure on myself either from myself. I'm excited to see other people getting opportunities like Mackenzie Hewitt this weekend and putting those in the back of the net. So it's just exciting and fun to be a part of.
Gabbie, what was your reaction to getting into the 100 point club? What does that mean to you?
It means so much to me. I talked about it a little bit after the game on Saturday, but just looking at all the people that are a part of that and having my name next to their name is something that I will never forget, and something that I just don't even know if I'll be able to wrap my head around. It's so cool, and it's something that I don't think I would have accomplished really anywhere else. And the fact that I have this family and Anna Klein as a line mate through all of it is just, I don't know, it's something that I just am so thankful for.
Kleiner, what is it that Gabbie does that opens things up for you as a scorer? What's kind of allowed you to take that role now on the line as Gabbie? I think you might have more assists, Gabbie, than goals this year. The setup artist now, kind of switching places. Kleiner, what is it when she's on the ice? How does she help create goals even if she's not scoring them?
Well, I think in past years, she's also done the same thing. It just happens to be even more this year. But I mean, she's just got such a great vision of the ice. And whenever she's going to the net, I know I should be going too. She's got a pass first mentality, but she also knows how to put it away. So, I mean, the way she sees the game is incredible. And I'm not even surprised that she's hit 100 points already. She's so good. And just watching her this year, maybe like she said, taking on more of a defensive role and getting more assists. I mean, she's still just as important on the ice, no matter if she's scoring or not. So, I mean, the assists, like every goal I score is assisted by Gabbie.
For Gabbie or Anna, coach mentioned like weird season here with, the way the schedules, long breaks and pauses and stuff. I feel like for goal scorers, it kind of helps to get in a rhythm and have a routine, whether it's games or even practices are kind of jumbled a bit this year. How do you stay in a rhythm, or do you just have to be prepared to kind of fight through those moments and the slumps like you guys just did? How much has this schedule maybe thrown you guys off a little bit this year?
Yeah, I think it's been tough. I think our practices have been really good in preparing us for these game situations, just with like small area games, learning how to put the puck away. So that's always good. But I mean, we've been doing so well as a team on offense this year. It's hard to complain. It is good to get in a rhythm, and we had a little bit of a slump there, but I feel like we've been really working through it and just having that mindset that you want to put the puck in the back of the net. It's fun to score. It's always helpful, and I think our team has really been embracing that this year.
Kind of going off that, maybe this one for Gabbie. You guys, speaking of the break, you have a big one heading into your next series against Mankato, but you guys have already seen them once before. What do you hope to accomplish this time around / carry on from last weekend?
I think of going off of last weekend just to continue the depth in our lineup and just to continue everyone scoring and everyone wanting to put the puck in the net and taking the opportunities that everyone is getting. And I think just being in that mentality and carrying that into next weekend will help us a lot. And like Coach was saying, these are big league games. We know that, and we've gone over how big these games are and the points and our end goal and what we want. So we know that. It's just a matter of doing it and continuing out good preparation throughout the week. And captains talked about today, like just because it's about like we don't have games this weekend, treat it like we do. Get your sleep, get your nutrition, like still be ice bathing, and it's a great opportunity to get better. So using that into the next weekend, just to be the best team that we can be against Mankato.
For Gabbie and Anna, if we could talk about the goal celebration videos for this year. You guys are usually good at those, but it seemed like everyone took it up a notch. If you both can kind of talk about those, kind of your favorites or kind of some of the ideas of what went into some of them.
Oh, we have a lot of preparation. It's like a year in the making. I already know what mine's going to be next year. Just wait. But yeah, what are some of our favorites? I don't know. There's always Ashen's, the classic cowgirl one. Rev sets her stick on fire, I think, if that's one of them. Gabbie, do you know any of the other good ones? Maggie's got like a book upside down on how to play hockey and has to like flip it back over.
I like Maggie's, but you can't see what the book says, but the book is titled like How to Play Hockey. She has it like flipped upside down and she's trying to read it and she's so confused. So if you could read the book, I think that one would be my favorite one.
Or Skins the Rapping. That one's really good too.
Skins is pretty funny too. Yeah, there's some other ones that got to come out and get on the Jumbotron for everyone else to see. They're pretty good.
Are you guys aware that you're making the men's ones look really, really, really bad?
They're so like lame about it. They're like, oh no, just use ours from last year.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, this is the best part. Like it goes on Twitter, it goes for the fans to see. Like you gotta pipe yourself up somehow. Make it funny.
Play it cool, then point their stick at the screen and serious face. I'm like, come on, have some fun.
How long did Taylor Anderson's take with the wardrobe change?
I think Nate was kind of on top of that. He was like, she asked if he could do it, and he's like, oh yeah, like TikTok? Sure, I can do that. So I think it was actually pretty quick. It was, but again, well thought out. She knew exactly what she was going to do going into it. So just the actual filming wasn't as long as you might think it would be.
Also for both of you, today is National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Kind of what does that mean to you guys, especially, I mean, not this year, but like last year when it was, Youth Hockey Day, the place was just packed with so many, girls, youth teams that really look up to you guys.
Yeah, it's a super cool day. It's also like cool coming from, playing women's hockey, but then also we have an all-female staff, and like that is so cool. You don't see that everywhere. And there's just so many women in my life that I could say have brought me to where I am today. So just having a day to recognize that, and for the little girls that can look up to us, that's also like the coolest thing to think of. Just when you play games, it's like, oh no, there's a lot of girls that really wish they were in my position or want to be someday. So having a day for that is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that they have a day for it and a day to really like hone in on it and like showcase how far the sport has come and how far female athletics has come. And like Kleiner said, having an all-female like staff and being surrounded by females, like some people would maybe not like it, but we absolutely love it. And having that with you, it shows you what you have gone through to make you get to where you are today, and you're reminded of that every single day. And going off what Kleiner said, all the little girls that come to our games, we miss having them there so much, but it's so fun to see that they're still watching. And the coolest part is that they're watching when they're at home and they want to be there, and just knowing that they are just as appreciative of what we're doing as we are of their support and giving back to them. And something that I like to think about every time I step on the ice is where I came from and being a little girl looking up to someone that was playing college hockey. So being able to do what I'm doing for inspiring little girls is super cool.
Maura, can you add a little bit to that too?
Oh my goodness, those answers were so good, Sam. Could end the press conference right there. But no, I think it's a huge day. We look back as a staff yesterday. It started in 1987 and still going strong this year, which is it's good. And we also have a lot of work yet to do. But I am very proud to be the leader of this team. I'm very proud that both these guys noted that we have an all-female coaching staff, and that is by design. They're both extremely qualified, brilliant hockey minds, and fantastic role models to our players. And I tell the players all the time, they are my inspiration, because these guys are going to be the future leaders, whether it's coaching, teaching, business, doctors, med school, whatever path, moms, sisters, wives, whatever path they take, they are going to be leaders, and they are the future. And that's why I want to build them into the strong, female, confident people that they are now, and that they can continue to build into. So that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to win hockey games, but a big part of it is these guys and making them into the best people that they can be now and down the line.